In the dead of night, hundreds of miles from shore, two giants meet. One, a tanker so big it's called a very large crude carrier, is filled with enough oil to power a small city for a year. The other, a smaller but still huge vessel, waits next to it. Then, a dangerous, multi-million-dollar ballet begins as millions of gallons of flammable liquid are pumped from one ship to the other, all while they bob in the open ocean. This isn't a scene from a spy movie, and there are no shady backroom deals here. This is a routine, carefully planned operation known as a ship-to-ship transfer, or STS, and it happens thousands of times a year, forming the backbone of a hidden, multi-billion-dollar industry that keeps our modern world running. Without these secret meetings at sea, the global supply chain, the complex web that brings us everything from gas to groceries, would grind to a halt. So why do these enormous vessels go to such crazy lengths to meet in the middle of the ocean instead of just docking at a port? Well, the answer reveals a fundamental weakness in our global infrastructure and a pretty clever solution born out of necessity. To get why ships meet at sea, you have to understand the problem with ports. We think of them as the final destination, bustling hubs where the world's goods finally make landfall. And they are. About 80–90% of all global trade travels by sea, which in 2024 was more than 12 billion tons of goods. Shipping is, hands down, the most cost-effective way to move massive amounts of anything over long distances. But here's the paradox. The very ships that make this system so efficient are often too big for the ports they need to serve. Over the years, in a relentless chase for economies of scale, we've built bigger and bigger ships. Vessels like the very large and ultra-large crude carriers, or VLCCs and ULCCs, can carry a staggering amount of cargo. But their size has a huge downside: their draft. That's how much water a ship needs to float safely. Many of the world's ports, especially older ones, are just too shallow to handle these giants. A fully loaded VLCC might need over 20 meters of water, but its destination port might only offer 15. This creates a massive logistical headache. But it's not just about depth. Major ports are notoriously congested. A ship might show up on time only to spend days or even weeks waiting at anchor for a free spot. While it waits, it's burning fuel and costing its owners a fortune in operational fees. Delays are the enemy of efficiency, and in a world that runs on just-in-time delivery, waiting is a luxury nobody can afford. These delays and physical limits mean the largest, most efficient ships are often locked out of the very markets they're trying to supply. Clearly, the system was creaking at the seams, and a different solution was needed, one that could happen outside the port.
Don't fry, don't fry, don't fry your brain.
That solution is the ship-to-ship transfer. Put simply, an STS operation is when cargo is moved between two ships sailing next to each other, either while stopped or moving, without ever needing to dock. It's a concept used mostly for liquids like crude oil, petroleum products like gasoline and diesel, and liquefied gases like LNG and LPG. The most common type of STS operation is called lightering. This is where a huge mother vessel, like that VLCC that's too big for port, offloads its cargo to one or more smaller daughter vessels. These smaller ships have a shallower draft, which lets them easily get into ports the bigger ship couldn't. This simple but brilliant workaround solves the draft problem. And this isn't some niche activity. While exact numbers are hard to come by, it's estimated that tens of thousands of these transfers happen every year. It's a massive, coordinated effort, part of a market valued at around $1.8 billion in 2024, and projected to grow to nearly $3 billion by 2033. Offshore operations happening far from any coastline make up most of this market. This process offers incredible flexibility. A tanker carrying crude oil from the Middle East can transfer its cargo mid-journey, letting the oil be sent to multiple destinations based on fluctuating market demand. It lets traders react to price changes and opportunities in real time. By avoiding port congestion and fees, companies save a huge amount of time and money. Turnaround times are slashed. A typical crude oil transfer can be done in just 12 to 36 hours, a fraction of the time a ship might otherwise spend waiting for a port to open up. Pulling off an STS transfer is anything but simple. It's a high-stakes, high-precision operation that's been compared to a ballet, where two dancers weighing hundreds of thousands of tons have to move in perfect harmony. The cost of a single operation, which can range from $80,000 to over $250,000, reflects this complexity and risk. The whole thing is governed by strict international guidelines. It all starts with meticulous planning and a detailed risk assessment. A key person in this process is the Person in Overall Advisory Control, or POAC. This is usually a seasoned mooring master who directs the entire operation, from the approach to the final unmooring. The two ships, the mothership and the daughter ship, approach each other very slowly, often on the same course and at the same speed. As they get parallel, skilled crews throw massive mooring lines across to lash the two vessels together. To stop the steel hulls from crashing into each other, giant pneumatic fenders, which are basically enormous inflatable bumpers, are placed between them. These are designed to absorb the immense energy from the ship's movement on the water. Once they're securely moored, the cargo transfer can start. Specialized reinforced hoses are connected between the ships, and powerful pumps begin moving the cargo. Throughout the transfer, which can last for hours, crews on both ships are constantly monitoring everything: the pressure in the hoses, the tension on the mooring lines, the stability of both ships, and, of course, the weather. A sudden change in wind or waves can create dangerous forces, and the POAC has to be ready to stop the operation at a moment's notice. The coordination is immense and a true testament to the skill of modern mariners. So, why should you care about this complex, expensive, and potentially dangerous operation in the middle of the ocean? Because the efficiency of this hidden world directly impacts your daily life. Remember that huge chunk of global trade that moves by sea? The shipping industry is the engine of the global economy, and the cost of transport is baked into the price of almost everything you buy. Think about your morning coffee. The beans might be grown in South America, shipped to Europe for roasting, and then sent to your local cafe. The whole sea journey adds just a tiny fraction to the final price, maybe less than a penny. This is only possible because shipping is incredibly efficient. Ship-to-ship transfers are a critical piece of that efficiency puzzle. By letting companies use the largest, most economical ships and avoid expensive port delays, STS operations help keep freight rates competitive. Without STS, the logistical chain would get hopelessly clogged. If that giant VLCC had to wait for a specific deep-water port to open up, or if its cargo had to take a much longer, less direct route, the cost would skyrocket. those costs would inevitably get passed down the line, from the refinery to the gas station, from the food importer to the grocery store. In a very real way, these secret meetups at sea are like the economy's shock absorbers, smoothing out the bumps in our infrastructure and ensuring the steady, affordable flow of goods we all depend on. From the fuel in your car to the food on your table, the ripple effect of this billion-dollar ballet is everywhere. For all its benefits, the world of STS transfers has its share of risks and controversies. The most obvious danger is environmental. Transferring millions of gallons of crude oil in the open ocean carries the risk of a spill. While the legitimate industry has a strong safety record, the potential for a catastrophe is always there, and incidents can lead to massive insurance claims. On top of that, the offshore nature of these transfers makes them attractive for illegal activities. There's a growing dark fleet of vessels, estimated to be over 10% of the world's tankers, that operate in the shadows. These ships often turn off their identification systems to conduct secret transfers, usually to get around international sanctions. This has become more common with geopolitical events, leading to a rise in STS transfers of sanctioned oil in areas with less oversight, which increases both safety and environmental risks. But the industry is evolving to meet these challenges. The next generation of STS is being shaped by technology. Digitalization is playing a huge role, with AI-powered systems optimizing everything from voyage planning to the real-time monitoring of the transfer itself. Advanced sensors are giving crews better awareness, making everything safer and more efficient. The global push for cleaner energy is also transforming the market. Demand for liquefied natural gas, LNG, as a transitional fuel is surging, and with it, the need for specialized LNG STS transfers. As the world moves toward new green fuels like ammonia, STS operations will once again be the critical link that allows them to be transported flexibly and efficiently. The world of maritime logistics is full of these hidden operations that are absolutely essential to our modern lives. What other invisible systems do you think we rely on every day without realizing it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. The image of two giant ships meeting in the secrecy of the open ocean is a powerful one. It seems mysterious, even a little suspicious. But the reality is much more practical. These meetings aren't some conspiracy. They're a clever and necessary solution to a fundamental problem of scale. They're a testament to human ingenuity in the face of physical and economic roadblocks. The ship-to-ship transfer is a vital, multi-billion-dollar gear in the machine of global trade. It allows our biggest, most efficient vessels to deliver their cargo even when ports can't handle them. It keeps costs down, supply chains moving, and the engine of our economy humming. So the next time you see a tanker on the horizon, remember its journey is probably a lot more complex than just a simple trip from port A to port B. It might be part of a hidden high-stakes ballet at sea. A secret meeting that isn't really secret at all, but simply essential.